It's time for Washington Fish Quest. Cowlitz River Smelt 101.
February 14th, Russell's first time smelting. He's 6. It's a family tradition. On the Nelson side anyway. We don't really have a lot on that side. Sorry buddy, grab the back. Here, grab the back into the net. Good. We're gonna scoop like this. Good job, bud. Not that time. Try again. Must be all on the bar. Whoop. Hit a branch. Don't worry, babe. We're gonna get it. Oh, good.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
This is for smelt. Good job, bud. Alright. That's all I needed, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Hey Washington Fish Questers, Blake here. That footage was from last smelt season, February 2020. First time I got to take my son Russell smelting. Very good memory for me. Really, that was a home video. And I've been meaning to do a Smelt 101 on this channel for a while. I did a smelt video earlier in the channel's life, and it was very well received, but I've been wanting to do like a more technical, here's how you get the smelt video. I didn't think there'd be a smelt opener this year, but DFW announced late today, Friday, that there would be. I just saw it on the internet there, so I figured it'd be a good time to do the Smelt 101. It's going to be March 2nd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on, designated area in the Cowlitz River. So check out that press release, just pull it up on your favorite web search engine and get more information there. And I was going to shoot that video and do the 101, but since it's just a one-dayer, I thought it'd be better if I did it now. So if you're watching this video before March 2nd, 2021, congratulations, you're my target audience. But hey, if you're watching it after, that's also good for me. So at any rate, I love smelting. I'm a big-time smelt dipper. My wife calls me a dip all the time. Sometimes I'll cut someone off in traffic and they'll yell, "Hey, smelt head," or something like that at me out the window. So I love it. As I said in the video, it's a family tradition. Here's a photo of my grandpa, Bud. He's a World War II era, greatest generation type of feller, taking me smelting. Great memories, and I was so happy I got to take my son smelting. So I'm not too scattershot. I should probably do this in a logical order. So I'm going to do it in these 4 chapters. We're going to start off with what is a smelt? Now that's a very deep philosophical question, but to boil it down more simple, a smelt is a adronomous fish here in the Pacific Northwest. It is also known as an Eulachon. That's Chinook jargon. And if you go up a little further to Alaska, they're known as hooligan. Also, First Peoples, I'm not sure what language exactly, but a term. And they are also known as candlefish. Now they're about 15% fat when they return to spawn, and these are the fish that famously, the reason they're called the candlefish in the salt, is you can burn their tails and they'll burn like a candle for about 20 minutes. I've never tried that. My friends at the Westport Aquarium did, and they were really surprised how easy it was and that they didn't even need a wick. So these are some oily fish. And they usually return in February and March. Sometimes the run is huge. It's really shrunk down. When I was a kid, you could just put a net in the water and, just like a good old days type of thing, like in the 80s and the early 90s. And then the run just collapsed, for a number of factors. People gave away their nets, sold their nets. It's kind of a shame. I bet a lot of those old smelting nets that are homemade and stuff are probably scrapped now. But then, they started coming back in the 2000s, and now it's kind of, hit and miss if it'll be an opener or not. Like I say, it's probably going to be a one-day opener, which is why I'm doing this now. So I think that's pretty good as far as what is a smelt. So as far as how to get them, you only need 2 things at minimum. A smelt net behind me there hangs up most of the year, and it's got a very fine mesh, and it's extremely long when it's put together. Smelt nets are anywhere from 12 to 20 feet long once they're connected. Most of them anyway. I don't know. You might have a 21-footer. Congratulations. And a bucket. So that wasn't a 5-gallon bucket, but the limit is 10 pounds of smelt, and Fish and Wildlife, Department of Fish and Wildlife says that that's about a fifth of a 5-gallon bucket. I actually do bring a fish scale, an electronic fish scale, weigh the bucket and then weigh it with the smelt in it just to make sure I get all the smelt I can. And then also this year, for the first time ever, Fish and Wildlife is requiring people to put them in their own buckets. So if you're a family of 3, you would need 3 buckets this year. Oh, I forgot to mention downstairs that you do not need a fishing license to dip for smelt in Washington State, whether you're from Washington State or not. So hopefully this is the most helpful part of the video coming up here, where to get the smelt, and that is both on the river and in it. So as I mentioned, these are Cowlitz River spawning smelt. They're part of a bigger run. That's the Columbia River run. We also have a run in Washington State on both the Nacelle and Chehalis rivers, but those are smaller runs, so those don't get opened. In 2010, these Columbia River run smelt were considered threatened under the Endangered Species Act. So that changed how the fisheries managed. You know, I don't usually go into this sort of thing, but for whatever it's worth, I think it was a good call because it was definitely an imperiled stock of fish. And it still fluctuates wildly. Between 2011 and 2019, the run size went from anywhere from 4 million spawning Columbia River run smelt to 180 million. So I mean, that's a just magnitudes difference. And when it's those lower run amounts, they don't open it. And then like this year, where they think it's going to be kind of similar to last year, which was a decent run, then they'll open what they call a test fishery, is how they do it for both commercials and recreational fishers. So it is open in the Cowlitz River. All right, I'm just going to read this word for word off the website so I don't get anybody in any trouble. The portion of the river open to dip netting extends from the Highway 432 bridge upstream to the Al Hellenberg Memorial Boat Ramp, located approximately 1,300 feet upstream from the Highway 411A Street Bridge in Castle Rock. So if that's if you're not local and you don't know where those are, it's basically exit 49 to exit 36 is about what we're looking at. I think the northern part of 49 might be a little high. That's the exit for Castle Rock. I think the boat ramp's actually just a little south of there, so you'd probably want to Google that boat ramp to make sure you're not a little out of the boundary. As far as that southern boundary, 36, I think that's about right. I think if you got off right at 36 and just went straight west, you'd be at the kind of where that bridge is. So I usually like to get off around exit 42. Sometimes, and that's around an area called Rocky Point. Sometimes I'll go down 3 exits more and get off at a Kelso exit. But the smelting's good basically all through that area. I mean, you'll see people on both sides of the river. There is telltale signs of if there's sea lions in the river or seagulls or anything like that. But, you know, I'll show up before it opens at 8, which is very important, by the way, because these smelt, like most fish, will move further in the middle of the river as the light hits them. So sometimes they'll be in the middle of the river for whatever reason anyway, but usually you want to get there right as it opens, and it's going to be at 8 a.m. So I'd get there at like maybe 7:40, you know, find a place to park your car, walk and find a nice spot in the river. And let's go back and look at that footage I played at the very beginning of this video. Alright, so this first part where I'm helping Russell down might not seem important as far as the dipping itself goes, but it is. Now see where I'm standing here on the river, how both the ledge there's a little ledge there to my left, and also there is a stump or a bush or something under the water there. Although we're dipping, this is fishing, and you know, things hold fish, you know, you want something that would kind of hold them in place. So the first dip, I run mid-water column, it comes up empty. So I go deeper on my second dip, more into the crevice as I'm figuring out what the river bottom's like. That second dip, my net gets, you know, messed up because I hit a stump or something. And then this third dip, I'm scraping bottom. You know, I'm in the hole. I pull it up, and voila. There you go, full of smelt. If it was a really strong run, I probably would have gotten a lot of smelt in that first dip. It being kind of a lesser run, you know, I found the fish like right along the bottom, kind of hidden out in the hole. Some people do bring waders and wade in the river, and they swear by it. I never have, and if you know the river, I think that's a very wise thing to do. But the Cowlitz River is a strong river. It's unpredictable. I don't know if I'd recommend that to someone who's never done it before. You will see people lined up though, so I guess there's, you know, strength in numbers hopefully. You probably saw my motion there. You go with the current. You really couldn't go against it if you wanted. But these fish are going upstream, you know, so you're putting your net right through them into their face, you know, and you kind of just do a sweeping motion down at them, as smooth a motion as you can, and kind of upturn it at the end there. Hey, welcome back to the garage. As far as what to do with the smelt once you got them, they're a real oily fish, so it's kind of weird. Just due to their size and them being adronomous, it's kind of almost like they're half salmon, half trout as far as what to do with them. So the great smoked, and here, actually, let me get some out from last year. Yeah. So there we go. I got some smoked here and frozen, and this is one of my packs left from 2020. They preserve really well in the freezer, I think because of all the oils. I actually always save them for at least a year, you know, at least a third of my smelt, because you just don't know if you're going to get that opener or not. So, as I mentioned, my grandpa used to take me smelting, and nothing reminds me of my grandpa more than cooking smelt, just frying them up in a pan. He loved them that way. It's definitely an acquired taste. You know, you just bread them up real simple, some flour, cornstarch, or whatever your favorite kind of breading is, like a trout, and just fry it in some butter or some oil or a mix. And then as far as smoking them goes, I actually like to smoke the heck out of smelt. So here's a picture of something I often like to do. They are so oily, sometimes I'll run a wooden stake through them like a little kebab and smoke them this way where they're hanging almost by their tails. And that way the oil doesn't all go to one side more than the other. But in my opinion, they're great to smoke the heck out of. I like a smelt that you can just like eat the bones. If you've watched my Smoke Your Salmon to the Bones video, you know I'll eat those bones all day. So I'll smoke my smelt for like 8 hours, you know, just smoke the heck out of them. I think they turn out great that way, and just due to all the oil in them, they actually still stay pretty dang soft. So I would do a you know, a dip and cook for you, but I'm filming this at like 1 a.m. because I wanted to get this out to you in case you're planning to go to that Tuesday opener. So if you want me to cook some up for you, happy to do it. I'll do it in a follow-up video here next week, so just let me know that in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope you get out there. I hope you have success. I hope there's smelt in the river and a great time is had by all. I'll see you next time on Washington Fish Quest.